On this episode of Scammer Stories, sextortion is on the rise. You may think it would never happen to you, but it happens all the time to people just like you or people like your loved ones. And with today's technology, it doesn't even have to be real. Even if you don't send nude pictures, imagine if someone sent an AI photo to your family members or your boss. Can you imagine the awkward conversation that would have to follow? More needs to be done, and it's already too late. Now, listening to this particular episode is important because it's really hard for people like this to grant me interviews due to the humiliation. A quick warning, we do talk about suicide in this episode. If you're triggered by that, we suggest you not listen to this one. We'll call this victim survivor Dawn. Here's Dawn's story. All right, so tell us a little bit about your life before this all started.
Well, I was married for 42 years. So that's part of the sad part of it. Admittedly, my wife and I had become more roommates, which might have led to this. I've tried to analyze why did I get involved in any of this?
I talk to people all the time who say, I'm not worried about my parents being involved in a romance scam because they're married. That's not the case at all. This man had a pretty good life, a long marriage, and a solid career.
I've been a lifelong musician, worked for Sam Ash Music for 23 years in management, and then I had enough of 60-hour weeks, so I went and worked for a marketing company as a purchasing manager. And now I'm an old guy, and we had the pandemic, so I just started working in gyms at the front desk, just greeting people, checking them in, that kind of thing.
Oh, that sounds fun. So, kind of laid back.
So. Yeah. It's a good Social Security supplement kind of job. Yeah. After I got divorced, I moved to Delaware from northern Jersey.
Okay, so this started during the pandemic, and how did it start? Did you say it was on Instagram?
It was on Instagram. I'm going to guesstimate the year. I think it was probably in 2021 because I looked up my initial questionnaires that I sent to digital forensics, and they were in April of 2022. So I'm kind of guesstimating on this.
He mentioned digital forensics. This is very, very important. We're going to come back to that a little later.
I never threw any of that stuff away.
Okay. And what was the message?
Well, it was just back then, I didn't even begin to see the evils that can exist on the internet. So it's just some girl who wanted to talk. At that time, if anybody wanted to follow me, sure. Now, good luck trying to follow me. It's that kind of thing. So we just talked. I'd love to give you specifics of what we talked about. It was just everything. Her life, my life. She told me her mother was dead. Her mother's name was Vera, as I remember. So she went by Amanda Gold Vera was the alias or whatever. Then after a while, she started getting increasingly flirty. But during these conversations, she told me the phone she had was her ex-boyfriend's phone. His name was Lance, blah, blah, blah. And eventually she had to return the phone to him, which kind of makes a little sense. So one day she got extra flirty. I guess it was a video generated. I didn't know at the time, but she took off her top, which was rather well endowed, shall we say.
Makes sense, because the video was from a porn actress.
Yes, it was Kendra Sunderland, to be exact.
Obviously, she had a great rack, and every guy would want to see it. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll cut you some slack there.
She was not hard to look at. I'm not going to tell you that.
Okay.
And, she talked about, I want to come meet you in Jersey and blah, 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 blah. Well, after that, she wanted me to show stuff, shall we say. I said no, several times because I'm married. But I think because we had essentially become roommates, I went to therapy after this all came out in the open, and this is what we sort of came up with. I guess back then I just thought, it's the internet. It's not a big deal. I didn't really I guess I really didn't understand the possibilities of the internet other than let me Google this fact and see how that works out. And that was mistake number one. Eventually, I don't remember exactly, but I'm guessing a couple weeks later, I got a text actually on my phone, not through Instagram, from this ex-boyfriend, supposedly, Lance. And he told me, I have all of your conversations, I have all your pictures, all your video, blah, blah, blah. And he always threatened, I don't want you talking to her. If you talk to her, it'll add to your penalty, blah, blah, blah. So the first time he demanded $5,000, obviously freaked me out. I was a musician then, and I was playing enough gigs to pull that off. I got him to agree to $250 a week, forever how long that took.
Now, he didn't know how long this would go on. How much money would it take to get them to finally go away? And he still didn't come clean to his wife.
By the way, my wife and I actually have a civil relationship. It's pretty decent, but my wife is not stupid. Eventually, because basically she took care of the bills. She's the most organized person you ever want to meet. So I brought home the money. She brought home some money, and she took care of the bills. So eventually she kind of figured out he's not giving me nearly what he should be giving me from these gigs. And she finally, one day, I remember I'm sitting on the couch. She's sitting on another chair, and she's talking to me and talking to me. And I'm holding a pillow against my face, and I'm kind of freaking out inside. And I finally burst out and told her the whole thing. At that point, obviously upset, she demanded, go find a way to deal with this. It's up to you. So I did some Google research, and I found digital forensics.
But first, I want to talk about the psychological effect this had to have on you. I mean, you've read the headlines that sextortion is leading to a lot of suicides with the younger generation. I mean, did it ever get that bad?
Not with me. I'm scared to death. Maybe that's part of it. I'm not one of these people that goes, oh, I'm going to go to a better place. Yeah, that may be true, but no, I'm pretty scared to death. I don't see myself. It would take some monumental something to get me to do that. But I was terrified, and then I was horrified with myself. I won't say you don't get over it. You learn to live with the fact of what you've done. And there are days like Christmas, for instance, where you just sit here by yourself and you just feel like a piece of garbage because you're by yourself on Christmas.
So obviously he's spending the holidays alone because his marriage didn't survive.
My daughter knew everything, and my daughter's actually the one that told me, "Oh, Dad, that's Kendra Sutherland. She's a porn star." My daughter is a social media manager, by the way, so she knows stuff about the internet. In fact, if I get anything funky that makes me uneasy, I send it to her and said, "Is this a scam?" I go to her for advice.
Smart.
Because they just, at this point, they send you jobs, they send you some stuff that looks really good, and you go, I've learned that whatever seems too good to be true is most definitely too good to be true. I guess that's how I'm approaching life these days. It just seems unlikely that some things are going to be real.
Yeah, it's just going to get worse. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the conversation with your wife. You find the digital forensics team. How did you find the digital forensics team? You're the first person I've talked to about this, and it's really interesting. I think it can really help other people.
I think I just Googled them, and then I looked up their, I saw they were on various TV shows being featured, so I knew it was legit.
The recovery scam is a whole new level. That's why you got to be careful on social media.
To deal with that.
Yeah, when you're on social media and you say, I've been a victim of a scam. Oh, well, I can help you get your money back. And then that whole mess starts. So, yeah, you have to be careful.
That's all over Instagram, too. There are ads, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I've had all kinds of stuff. I'll give you one other thing. I think, first of all, I have to acknowledge the fact that I'm on some mailing list on the dark web, and that's the way it is. Because there's a scam going around a couple of years ago. I'm in Delaware, and you get these emails saying, I know you've been wasting my escort's times and blah, 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 and I'm from this cartel. And they send you graphic pictures of people with their throat slit and all this other stuff. And when I first saw that, I absolutely freaked. I called the Newcastle police. And they said, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's a scam.
Hmm.
We know all about
Finally,
that."
now,
So,
now police are starting to learn about these things. So you sent originally they wanted 5,000, and
yeah.
then when they got that, they wanted more.
Next time was 15,000, and they were supposedly going to make Amanda pay an equal amount or some amount. Obviously, Amanda didn't really exist. So I would pay him in crypto every Wednesday morning. That's how it worked. Why Wednesday? I think we picked that, and I picked the early morning, so I would be like opening up a gym and not have to do it at home.
Okay.
So that was I think that was 250 a week. And God forbid, if I was going on vacation, because this is before my family knew, if I was going on vacation with the family and I was going to miss a week, now you're paying 500 this week.
I can't imagine your anxiety trying to hide that from your family on a vacation.
Oh, it was intense.
Yeah.
Every week when he finally said, "Okay, it's been confirmed," I'd be like, "Oh, that's a week's stay of execution," that kind of. I'm
You
so glad I found you on TikTok, because this is kind of, it's good for you to get this out of your system to somebody that
that
has an expertise in this stuff.
Yeah, and someone who has empathy.
So let's see.
Okay, so
Well,
they wanted more and more money, and then
yeah.
that's when you found the digital forensics team and reached out. And what did they say when you told
I
them?
found them after my wife knew about it. And at that point, she's like, "You got to do something about this. You got to get this taken care of, blah, 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 blah." And so the first person I reached out to, her name, she's not with the company anymore. Her name's Shannon Campo. She was my, I guess, case leader. So they send you a bunch of questionnaires and you fill those out. And eventually, when they finally get to the point, okay, we're going to do this. I forget what it costs, honestly. Somehow $2,000 is in my head, but I don't remember. And at that point, whatever it was, it was. I
Yeah,
didn't care.
$2,000 sound like a bargain.
Well, compared to,
Yeah.
I don't really have a number that I paid this clown. I guarantee you it was at least 45 or 50,000 over time.
Yeah, and they would have continued to take it forever.
Yeah, apparently the trick is never pay. Apparently that's what you should do. But
Hmm.
the idea of them releasing everything to everybody I knew was just including, I mean, they had my work phone number.
Uh,
They had everything. And this guy would talk like, "I'm a dangerous man. I will ruin your music career." I was like, "Oh boy." So, yeah, I probably was walking around on eggshells for a couple of years there.
oh man.
So digital forensics takes all my information and then they take over the account. It was through Google Chat. They take over the account and pretend to be me for a while. Pretty crazy. So the guy finally gets to a point where you're speaking to whatever the guy's name was, the caseworker. I'm the caseworker at digital forensics. I'm representing my client, and they basically show him everything they know. What they do they trick the guy into thinking if he clicks this certain link, he's going to get a certain amount of free Bitcoin. He clicks
Okay.
the link, and that's what triggers them to be able to see his location. Yeah. Oh, it's great. Yeah. I mean, these guys are very impressive.
Okay, so he gets him to click the link, and then what
Yeah.
happens?
Basically, the last conversation between this caseworker and the evil son of a bitch, for lack of a better way to put it.
Hmm.
You may have to bleep that. I don't know. Oh, no, you said swearing's okay.
We can call him son
Yeah.
of a bitches on this podcast.
Yeah, I would hope so. The caseworker talks to this guy. He starts to get a little more aggressive the way he talks. He says, "I don't even think you have the pictures anymore." Says, "Okay, take a look." And he sends them, except they're redacted on this report. And this guy's saying, "Is this not you, you bastard? Look how you're talking to me. Are you blind? I need to show your wife everything. Then I have information about you and Amanda." Stuff like that. "Man, I think you want to play game. Now we get you. You could see that. You could see bunches of your family. You think this is a joke?" See, if I even talked to Amanda for a second, this guy would freak out and charge me more. So I think he put an account for her on TikTok, and all I did, she reached out to me, and all I did was say, "I don't think it's a good idea. We should talk on this." and it was him
Mm-hmm.
pretending to be her. So he wanted to charge me another 10,000 there. So in this last report, it says, all I care about is my money. You have 9,000 to go, and then your family will be free. By the way, as an aside, my wife is so brutally honest that she felt compelled to tell her entire family what I did.
Whew, another blow, but
Yeah.
I she probably had some healing of her own.
At first I freaked out. So why did you have to do that? But, I was in no position to bargain,
Mm-hmm.
quite frankly. I think the biggest problem we had was, to be honest with you, because we had become roommates. I don't even want to say the length of time we had no sex life.
Yeah.
That probably drove me to do it, not directly, psychologically.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you have this beautiful, sexy woman who's sending you sexy pictures. It gets
Yeah,
your excitement going, your endorphins going.
a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of the women I speak to, the scammers use love to reel them in. A lot of the men I speak to, the scammers use sex.
The other thing is on the internet, I joke about it now with people. Says, on the internet, I am the most handsome devil in the world. Apparently, they all tell you you're handsome, and they all they'll ask you how old you are, and I'll go because I at this point I enjoy playing with them. I treat them like a cat with a ball. So I'll sit there and go, oh, you've got my picture. Take a guess how old I am, and they're usually way under. Now I don't know if they think that or they're full of shit. I don't really know.
Yeah, or they're trying to flatter
Um,
you, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, I guess. So, and they're all, you're 71. Oh, I can't believe it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, sure. And eventually, and I'll keep talking as soon as I hear the word money, bye bye. And they all want it they want it in crypto or they want it in gift cards.
So the forensics team or the person that you were working with, then what was their next move after that? What is your
Well,
paperwork they're showing?
well, if I look at that report, he'll eventually threaten him. I am Brian something from digital forensics. You've been located, blah, blah, blah. We will be contacting your local police. We know exactly. And they have within a block of where this guy is. It's very impressive. The guy, I haven't heard from the guy. Nothing's happened. My daughter apparently, this is probably a couple of years ago, got a Facebook message from who was supposed to be Amanda. She didn't tell me for a long time because she knew I was already freaked out. And, saying digital forensics, they're a scam, don't believe it, blah, blah, blah. And she just blocked them and erased
Yeah.
it and it never came back. So it's not the only time I've used digital forensics, unfortunately.
Oh.
No, I had one where this was, I decided, okay, I'm going to try a dating app. I don't know which ones are good, which ones are bad. Okay, I've heard of Tinder. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's good, bad. Girls seem really nice. This is probably the beginnings of people using AI because she actually called me. It was a video chat,
Yeah.
but it seemed to have its distinct background to it. And there wasn't a lot of movement on her part
Mm-hmm.
at that point. So when I think back on it, she just got me. That was as much a romance scam as a get you involved in a crypto thing.
Mm-hmm.
She claimed her uncle had a financial group that had expertise, and she even put money in herself, supposedly. So what happens is they get you up to the point where you've made 300 and something thousand. And then they say, well, you have to take it out now by law, but there's a 20% tax on it. That's the trick.
Yeah.
And obviously you don't, that's like $52,000. You don't have it.
Yeah.
So that turned out. So I contacted this guy, Brian at Digital Forensics. Says, could you look into this? And sure enough, it was another scam. I've had 3 times. 2 were out of Lagos, Nigeria. 1 was out of, they weren't all, I guess 2 of them were sort of romance, but the second one was romance, but no threats.
You stopped communication once the digital forensic team told you it was a scam?
Yeah, they also take over and find out it's a scam because the thing that got me is the second one. One day she asked me, I'm bored. Can I have your Netflix login? I want to use it. And Literally an hour later, I get an email from Netflix. Somebody just used your login from Lagos, Nigeria. So I'm like, that's not good.
Mm. Where'd you think she was? Or what did she say she was? Do you remember?
She was in Virginia.
Uh-huh.
When I first started talking to her, she was supposedly living with an aunt and uncle in Waldwick, New Jersey, which
Mhm.
is really close to where I was. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you said the digital forensics guy, Brian, eventually he told the scammer that he wanted videos of him removing everything or he was going to go there and go to police, right?
yeah. Or just contact them however I
Okay.
had to
And
contact them.
and that worked,
Yes, it definitely worked.
which is good to
The
know.
guy was like, I'm sorry, I'm just doing this because I'm hungry. He made up all kinds of crap.
Mhm.
Oh,
Right.
poor baby. Meanwhile, I will tell you, I learned something about crypto at the time. I noticed I would send it to him and he would send it to a different wallet. So
Mhm.
I had to wait for that process. And crypto sometimes a little on the slow side. The guy from Digital Forensics told me that the one wallet that he was sending it to, and he sent it to many wallets over time, but even one wallet had over $800 million in it. This is big stuff. I was just part of a very large thing.
Yeah, that money's going to drugs and guns and terrorist organizations.
Yes, I don't feel good about inadvertently helping that.
Hmm.
I didn't know squat.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't either, and I've been a reporter for decades, and when this all started happening to me, I thought I knew everything about scams, and I didn't know jack. So
I'm
so
sorry.
he stopped contacting you then after that? Did it just end
Yeah,
right there?
I haven't heard a word since.
So then looking
Now
back, you would
I get
recommend others to just end contact?
digital forensics. Digital forensics, yeah.
Hmm.
I think the first thing you want to do is not pay them
Okay.
because I have the feeling. See, once you pay them and they go, oh, soft touch, and then you're going to pay them and pay them and pay them. So that's what I think happens.
But it's just that fear of
Oh,
if I
God.
don't, my boss is going to get these pictures, my family's going to get these pictures. That's a hard fear to overcome.
I don't, yeah. Well, they know that.
Yeah.
And 42 years is a long time. That's not something to sneeze at. And
Yeah, that's rare.
I'm paying the price. There's no question. I mean, I get through the day. You can hear I sound pretty decent and positive, but um, holidays get a little tougher. Luckily, I moved to Delaware because my daughter is in East Norriton, Pennsylvania. So she's only an hour away. That was why I moved. I moved for that reason, and Delaware is relatively inexpensive to live. I mean, my apartment's 1450 and it's pretty damn nice. This apartment where I used to live, 2200 would be my guess.
And tell us everything that you've used to kind of lock everything down. Because when I tried to call you, I couldn't get through. What did you use for that?
I found something called Cloaked. I don't know if it's the best, but it's certainly helping with. Okay, that phone call's not in your list. Nope, 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 no good.
Okay.
And but some of these people that I've had them like they'll just rapid fire call, call, call. So they're using a machine. Literally nobody could type that fast.
Yeah.
And at that point, I go into the software and I mean they're stopping it from coming through, but they're not blocking it automatically. So I'll go in and manually block it at that point. It's not going to be the last time. I know it. I'm on a list, and they have removed me. I think the last time I looked with 316 different dark web sites I've been removed from. If I was a younger man, I would so go into digital forensics just to go to war against this.
So that was really hard for Don to share. I appreciate him being vulnerable to help spread the word to others. A couple of interesting things as I wrap up this episode. I got an email this week from the Senate Judiciary Committee. Remember when I testified several months ago? They say they're sending me the final report on what they found. Now, I have no idea what to expect, but of course, you will be the first to know as soon as I get it. Another thing, I'm going to be in Kansas City in October with the Advocating Against Romance Scammers Board for a seminar, and you can come too. I'll be sharing more details on that in the upcoming months. Until then, you can email me at scammerstoriespodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, Scammer Warriors.